Hi all. Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. My goodness, we just really have some updates today, and I want to point out a couple of things to you all. So it's going to be a shorter video than usual, but let's just jump right in and get there, shall we? Let's go. People are talking about Meghans Podcast, which is not yet dropped, but they're saying that she's probably going to be using it to settle some scores that she thinks need to be settled. I mean, I think we've all pretty much figured out what this is going to be. The underlying theme is going to be Meghan. She's going to talk about her terrible family, how poor she was growing up, how terrible it was in the British royal family. You know, she's going to continue to try to keep that link going while settling scores against people that she thinks, were mean to her. This is what I think it's going to be. This is a cold-eyed, and I'm quoting, a cold-eyed, legacy-building, myth-controlling PR spin. That's what this entire podcast is going to be. Personally, I don't think it's going to do well at all. I mean, we've all heard how difficult Meghan can be, that she's mean to her staff, she's demanding, she's difficult. And I mean, even Omid Scobie has touched on that one, So of course, this is all going to be about her experience and her racial stereotypes and her this and her that. That's what the whole thing is going to be, I'm telling you. All right, the next story we're covering is the fact that Harry and Meghan were told they cannot have private armed security guards on their trip to Invictus Games. Now, interestingly enough, it appears that they do have armed security in the United States, and that same private security is the one that would have gone with them to the UK had they bothered to go to the UK. So I'm sorry to say, for all the Dutch people, your taxes are now going to go to protect these two while they're there. They're going to be protected by armed Dutch police. Yep. Now, the article says that Harry offered to pay for the protection, but let's remember that he claimed the same thing in the UK, and it wasn't until the papers were released that we found out he did not offer to pay until it became a public issue. Then he offered to pay. But this article says that the Dutch authorities will not let his team pay, but they've decided to take responsibility for his protection, which means it's taxpayer-funded security. And this is what IPP status gives them, even though they don't have IPP status. I think the Dutch just don't want anything happening to him on their watch. So Sabira, you asked a good question. Are they going to have police protection? And the answer is yes, they are. All right, on to our big story for today. Prince Harry, who has, we talked about the Invictus Games yesterday. Prince Harry, who monetized the Invictus Games, who's getting a fee to show up, and so is Meghan getting a fee to show up, has now taken his Better Up company and has paired it with the Invictus Games, because he says the mind is like a muscle that needs to be honed and trained. The mind is an organ, the brain is an organ. Well, maybe in your case it's a muscle, but for everybody else, it's an organ. Now, very interesting. Better Up put out a statement saying that they have now partnered with them and they're going to give support services. And I find it very interesting that if you read what they said, if you're very careful and you read it, what they said, look at this. It says they'll provide access to 500 members at no cost to the individual. Okay, which means that somebody else is paying for it. Probably the Invictus Games unit or, the whomever. It's not free, people. It's free to the individual, but not free. So once again, Invictus Games or somebody associated with Invictus Games is shelling out money for Harry's pocket. Let's not forget, he is Chimpo of Better Up. You get it? R. Baker 18 pointed out, if they're paying for this service, isn't it a conflict of interest for Harry using his charity to funnel customers to his business that employs him? And the answer to that is yes. It is a complete conflict of interest. I cannot believe this is being allowed. And no, I'm not saying that these people don't need mental health. I'm not saying it shouldn't be free. But once again, Harry and a business that he is heavily involved in are teaming up. Yes, it is a massive conflict of interest. No, it should not be allowed. Angela Levin pointed out that Harry is taking advantage of physically and mentally damaged soldiers using the Invictus Games to plug his mental health startup Better Up. Yes, that's exactly what he's doing. I'm glad other people see it. I mean, I'm just glad I'm not the only person who's seeing this. This is so wrong on so many levels. I mean, I can't. All right, I got to get off this topic. We're going to finish up with a little video to show you guys something. You know, I think I've told you guys before that Harry is only good with the small chit chat. I think he has like a script he uses over and over. So here he is talking to the people at the Invictus Games, and listen to what he says. First, she asks the coach of the team, is she excited? Is she nervous? Is she ready? Watch this.
Are you excited? Are you nervous?
So now, as the interview goes on, he looks at the group, like the whole group sitting there, and says the exact same thing. Listen to this.
Is everyone excited or are people nervous?
Now let's go back in time to when Harry was walking the red carpet. Remember when his wife was like, shall we? And she's rubbing him and she's pulling on his arm. She's trying to get him away. And he literally steps away from her. And what does he say to the award winners that are standing there? Listen to this. Are you excited? Are you looking forward to it? I mean, this script, he's got the same, he's like a one-trick pony. That's all that his conversation seems to be when he's talking to these people. It's the same conversation over and over again. So Harry and Meghan were snubbed by the Beckhams for the wedding, snubbed by the Obamas for the birthday party, snubbed by the Dutch royals. I wonder if they're getting the hint. Now, a couple of other housekeeping items. First of all, Duke, I've never been able to say his name right, so I just call him the Duke. The Duke, has a blog, and it's absolutely fabulous, and he's come up with a lot of interesting information. So as you can see, this is what it looks like. If you're on Twitter, you can click on my link, which is on my page. And if you're not on Twitter, just go to dukesilvertongue.com and you can read all the information. It's very eye-opening. So lots of information. What do you guys think? Do you think that Meghan is going to use her podcast to try to settle the score with people? Because it's almost like the Oprah interview 5.0. She can say whatever she wants on the podcast. Do you guys think she's going to do that? Because I do. What do you guys think about the taxpayers of Holland having to pay for security for Harry and Meghan while they're there, but yet not getting a royal reception, not having an audience with the king and queen, not staying in any of the palaces? What do you guys think about Harry merging the Invictus Games with Better Up in order to line his pockets with even more money? So leave those comments below because you know I love to read them. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of uploads. If you've already hit that button, double check and make sure you're still subscribed. I'm still getting messages from people telling me that even though they've subscribed, they log on and find that they are suddenly unsubscribed. So check that button every time you log on. Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Rumble. You can follow me on Getter. Don't forget you can email me. And for those who have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.